following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, songwriter, 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania. And the first to launch her own podcast, which gives you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes and extraordinary entertainers. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Well, look at here. It's Christmas Eve. Welcome to Chasing Glory. It is great to be here with each and every one of you who have taken the time to listen to the show. I thank you because I know you guys could have many choices of where to be, and you've chosen here. You've chosen the podcast of Chasing Glory to listen to these incredible stories. If it's your first time joining us, thank you. And if you've been joining show after show after show, welcome back. I'm happy because it is Christmas Eve. I love Christmas. I decorate like crazy. I feel closer to it even now. I know that you guys, if you've listened to the show before, you know that my dad actually passed on Christmas Day, and I have made a choice not to dread it, but instead feel closer to him around this time, which is why I go crazy even more decorating and celebrating. And it's been great taking some time out to be with friends. I hope that you have done the same thing, that you've actually enjoyed the holidays a little bit, because I know that things can get so insane during this time. And I hope that all of you have taken a little time. And I've had to remind myself of that too, because there is times that I am very work. And I realize that I have to slow down just a little, just enough, especially this week. I give everybody the permission this week, go ahead and just chill out so that you can start 2019 with a bang. Thank you for following the show at Chasing Glory Podcast on Instagram, and also following me at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, and Lilian Garcia official fan page, and the show itself too on YouTube. There's a lot of people that love to get the show on YouTube, and I love that. So welcome to YouTube. It's youtube.com/Lilian Garcia. Just remember that my name, Lilian, is spelled with one L in the middle. I know that's not the same as most spellings here in the U.S., but it is one L in the middle, so Lilian. And and thank you for your Cameo request. I've been having a blast doing those. And if you don't know what those are, you just go to cameo.com/Lilian Garcia. That is where you get to ask me if you want to have me send you a message, like a birthday message or an anniversary, or there's a lot of people that ask me for themselves or for friends for a special Christmas message. I've also done congratulations for getting married. I've done some ring announcements, and I've had a blast actually doing inspirational messages. It's so cool that you guys are wanting me to give you some inspirational messages. I've had that for people for themselves or a loved one that is struggling. And so I've actually enjoyed that because, I'm kind of like all about trying to inspire people because I've been inspired. So I just want to pass that along. I've done a lot of developmental work in the last, I would say, 8 years. I got into it in 2010. And my life is completely changed. I thoroughly believe in that, guys. A lot of times when we're struggling and we don't know how to get out, if we would have known how to get out, we would have done it already. So that's why it's important to do personal growth. And I believe in seminars and masterminds. It's like blinders have been taken off my life of where it was before. So I thank you for that. I thank you that I can pass that along. And I have to say that my interview from last week, how wild that Mustafa even said, it felt like I was in a therapy session. He's like, I feel like a new man. Sometimes when we talk things out, it just feels so good. So Mustafa Ali, let's talk about him from last week. Incredible interview. I didn't know a lot of things about him. he was a cop, but it wasn't just that he was a cop. Why he got into being a cop, why he wanted to make a change, and what happened during it. Some of the things that he actually took it upon himself to do, I was blown away. And you guys let me know that you were blown away too, which was great that you got to hear the message like I got to hear the message. And then also how he had to endure his father passing away. And that was heart-wrenching, especially because I know I get it. Losing a dad is just so hard. Losing a parent. I mean, I still have my mom, but so far I only know the loss of my father. But that is just so tough, so tough. But what a great guy, right? More than anything, what a great guy who's making some big differences already in this world. And in wrestling, God is such a joy to watch. The thing that got me that I was so surprised is when he said, I go out there and he goes, I don't even know what I'm doing out there. It's like I just go into autopilot. To see some of the stuff that he does is so spectacular. And I am so proud of him. He is officially just got announced that he's officially part of the SmackDown roster now. Congratulations, Mustafa. What perfect timing to be on Chasing Glory, to hear your story, and then to actually see it all unfold too. As to the fact that when you had your eyes closed, you said that you could visualize your success, but when you opened your eyes, you couldn't see it. And I remember talking about that last week, how sometimes it's because when we open our eyes, we see reality in that we don't know how we're going to get there. And it's okay. It's okay not knowing how we're going to get there. Focus more on when you close your eyes and you can feel it happening, because that is the part that actually the universe, God, whatever it is that you speak to, I speak to God. But that is when he or the universe takes over and knows what you really want in your heart. So don't worry about the reality when you open up your eyes. He's getting things because he feels it. When he closes his eyes, he feels it, he imagines it, he envisions it. And then he works for it. It's not just envisioning it, it's also getting out there and working. And he's been training and training and training, and a great attitude. All of that has led him to be now a permanent fixture on SmackDown Live. I'm so proud of him. So go back if you didn't hear the episode. I encourage it. It was so good, so good. So thank you, Mustafa. And today we have somebody so fun. I wanted to do something fun for Christmas Eve. We actually had taped this before him and Carmela actually won the Mixed Match Challenge. So congratulations to the two of them. I love them as a couple. I think they're so entertaining. I love that in WWE, whenever there's an entertaining superstar, I kind of gravitate to that because I do love to laugh. And it's people like Santina Morella that made me laugh so hard that I totally remember them. And they're needed. They're needed in WWE. It can't be all about, there's a place for that. And you know what I mean by that. There's a total place for that. But I think there's also a place for the lighter entertainment. And Carmela and R-Truth, they're doing that. And they're such a joy to watch. And I get such a chuckle, and in a good way, and God, R-Truth has these expressions on him. That's so funny. Well, the interview is no different. You guys are going to laugh like crazy in this interview with R-Truth. So, it's a lot of fun. The only thing is I don't know what happened, but hey, there's a lesson in this too. In the middle of the interview, all of a sudden, when I started to speak, there was a lot of static, but he and I couldn't hear that. So I don't get it. I don't get technology sometimes. It's like blows me away. I think it does that to swerve me, but the interview was so good that I wanted to go ahead and air it. So just know that in life, this is it. This is part of life right here. In life, some things are just not going to go perfect and like you want them to go, but you got to just roll with it. You got to keep moving forward and just, Just see it for what it is. So like I said, in the middle in the interview, not when he speaks, but when I start speaking, static starts forming. It's like, what the hell? What the hell? Anyway, I think it's still a fun interview. So spread the word, tell people about it. Thank you again for subscribing to the show. That definitely helps the show. Thank you for reviewing the show. We're putting up more and more of your reviews, so definitely keep those coming in. And thank you for the 5-star rating. We love that. We are definitely in 2019, this thing is going to blow up even more. And don't forget, next week is the best of Chasing Glory from 2018. You don't want to miss that. It's just snippets of each of our guests that just had such incredible impact. And so, yeah, the best of Chasing Glory is next week. I'm so excited. But for now, guys, have a great Christmas. Great Christmas. Love you dearly. And thanks again for following the show. So without further ado, here is R-Truth's journey of Chasing Glory. A native of the South, Ron R-Truth Killings knows what it's like to fight to survive. Growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, Truth had a passion for hip hop and would actually sell drugs in order to support his music career. He would become the opening act for Third Base and MC Light before he got arrested and would end up in a halfway house. He would end up meeting Jackie Crockett, who encouraged R-Truth a life in pro wrestling, and very early in his career would end up wrestling guys like AJ Styles and Jerry Lawler. After sending a videotape to WWE headquarters, he would catch the eyes of officials and was signed to a WWE developmental deal where he would train in Memphis, Tennessee. By the fall of 2000, known as K-Kwik, he would debut on Monday Night Raw, teaming up with Road Dogg, where they would be getting rowdy on Raw and SmackDown. After the purchase of WCW, he would be released from the WWE, but that didn't end his wrestling career. He would resurface in TNA, where he would become the first African-American NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a championship that is traced back over 100 years. He would be a staple for TNA for over 5 years before returning to the WWE in 2008. For the next decade, he would remain a staple in the WWE and would become the United States champion, and with Kofi Kingston, would win the WWE Tag Team Championship. He would go toe-to-toe with The Rock in his first match in over 7 years and would continue to be one of the shining and hilarious stars of the WWE roster. At the TLC pay-per-view in 2018, alongside Carmella, they would win the second season of the Mixed Match Challenge, ensuring their place at number 30 in the Royal Rumble in 2019. R-Truth would make an appearance in the Academy Award-nominated movie, The Wrestler, and his musical album is available for download now on iTunes. It's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with R-Truth. All right, guys, you just heard a little bit of R-Truth's bio and his accomplishments, and this is just a little bit of what this man is all about. And this is someone actually that the fans kept writing in that they wanted to hear from. So R-Truth, welcome to Chasing Glory.
Lilian, thanks for having me on here.
You are so welcome. Yeah, how do you feel about that, the fact that the fans wanted you on here?
Oh, I'm flattered. I'm very flattered. I feel like some people need to be inspired. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know that you are going to be that kind of guy because you have an incredible story and I know just a little bit of it. So I definitely want to dive in. First of all, you've been with the WWE. What's the amount of years? Because I got to meet you in, I believe it was 1999. Isn't that when you came in, right?
Yes. And you know what? Me and Daniel Bryan's been having that argument. I want a copy of this so I can let him hear that it was 99, right?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
He's got people thinking that I'm like, I'm old as a vampire or something. Like I'm like 1,000 years old or something. It's like, no, I did. Yes. So I want a copy of this tape. In 99, Lilian and I met. Yes. I was k-kwik then, right?
Yes, you were k-kwik, and that was my first year there. So it was wild when I'm doing my research. I'm like, holy cow, you and I started in the same year. That's crazy. And
a long time ago.
and Daniel Bryan, we are not vampires. Give me a break.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's like, man, you're not aging, and something's wrong here. I think you're a vampire. Or he has this thing that I have no sense of time, so therefore, when people leave me, my body shuts down, and I don't exist anymore till people come around. Daniel.
Wait, so he's actually giving you a compliment, though. He's actually telling you look so young. Is that what he's saying?
Huge compliment, but Daniel Bryan has a way of turning it around to where, like, it's a questionable compliment to where you're left going, huh?
A little bit like that was funny when you were actually, we'll let the fans know this. We were texting back and forth and trying to coordinate this schedule. And then all of a sudden I get this text of, I'll be there in 20 minutes and I've been having trouble with the car and yada, yada. And I'm like, I think you sent this to the wrong person. And then your emoji thing or whatever, your GIF feedback was hilarious with the, wait, what, who is this?
Oh my goodness, Lilian, you have no clue. Like, I had you confused with my manager / producer and the radio interview I'm supposed to do. So I'm taking you all this information for the interview I'm supposed to be coming to.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my God, it was just so funny. And the people never got my message. I was, of course, late to that interview, so I'm like, hey, the R-Truth character is very real.
All right, you know, you told me that too. What do you mean by that? Tell me, what's are you pretty much late to everything?
I'm not late. My thing is, like, you want me there safe late or hurt early, you know?
I've never heard that. I've never heard that. What a great excuse. I love it. Oh,
right? And I was always told, if you come late, you don't come late where they're mad. You come late where they're glad to see you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you're a whole day late for this interview, by the way.
I am a day late, right?
You are a whole day late.
This is the longest of my lateness in my career. This is the longest lateness I've ever had.
We tried to schedule this
in the history of lateism. I've never been this late before.
Wow. Well, there you go. I'm so glad you bestowed that honor on me and Chasing Glory. Oh, man. You know what? You're forgiven because you really are such a great dude. So, you know, again,
thank you.
I mean, all the years that I've gotten to know you, Truth, you always have such a positive attitude and just such a smile backstage. You have such a friendliness about you. I mean, where the heck does this all come from? Do you ever have a bad mood?
I'm normal. I said this in my interview yesterday on the radio. I want people to definitely know that I'm just as normal. I have good days, bad days, happy days, sad days, just like every Jack and Jill out there, just like every person that puts their pants on one leg at a time. And I just, I feel like life is too short to like carry on that burden. Now, I do go through the roller coaster. I'm normal. I cry. I get sad. I get happy. I go through that emotional roller coaster, but at the end of the day, I let it all fall off my back like water off of a duck's butt. You know, so it's just, you change what you can, you fix what you can. Other than that, you leave it in God's hand, you keep it moving.
That's so true, man. That's beautiful. I mean, because that's exactly, but have you always been that way? Is that just part of who you are?
Yeah, I've always grown up like that. My mom's like that a lot. I can count on one hand the time I've seen my mom cry. And that's a big deal to me. Like, and she's just like, I respect her so much. I'm like, dog, nothing ever breaks my mom. She's just like this superwoman that just like, even the depth of my grandparents, even like the depth of her sisters, like, the depth of my sister, like my mom, that's the only time I've seen her cry. Like she's never cried. She's always had this positive, we're going to make it. Something's going to change. Change will come. You have to think positive, be positive. When you be positive, you get positive results. When you think negative, act negative, you get negative results.
Wow, dude, that's amazing that you had that kind of, you know, somebody like that with the impact instilling that in you, because that is something that, you know, we learn all the time is things that are instilled in us as being young is what definitely follows us for sure. Now, you actually were born in Georgia, but raised in North Carolina, correct?
Nope. That's another Wikipedia did. I don't know. That's somebody else got the R-Truth character going on.
Well,
Nope.
you know what? You're not the only one. They got me born in like Florence, South Carolina for a while there. And I was like, what? No. I went to South Carolina when I was 8 years old and I never went to Florence. So I don't know. So correct us.
Yes, I was born in South Carolina.
You
but I grew
were?
up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yes.
Where in South Carolina?
Williamsburg.
Oh my God, I totally know Williamsburg. So yeah, I moved to South Carolina from Madrid, Spain when I was 8 years old and I moved to Colombia.
But I was born there, and I haven't seen it since.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And then you were raised in Charlotte, you said?
Raised in Charlotte. Went to. I remember going to grammar school there, elementary, middle school, and I graduated from Harding High School there.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what was life for you like growing up in Charlotte?
As a kid, it was fun. It was fun. It was challenging. There's a lot of peer pressure. A lot of what's going on now with the millennials. But
Yeah.
when I was growing up as a kid, it was on a lesser scale. You know, it wasn't so much of a demand to be part of the trend or to fit in or to take acceptance to peer pressure and just fall into it. And it was fun back then when I was growing up. It was fun. It was I was always involved with music. That's my dad. My mom singing in church. I've always had music in my bones. Played sports. I grew up with friends. And also, you have the same thing that goes on everywhere. Getting out of high school, I was that guy that didn't know which direction I wanted to go. I was a hell of a football player. I had wheels on my feet, hell of a track runner. I had scholarships to Georgia Tech, Clemson, Syracuse. But at that time in my life, I didn't want to go to school. I was a show opener for all the music artists that came through Charlotte. And I'm talking about groups back in the days like Duo Rockin', Digital Underground,
Wow.
Third Base, Kwame, Tracy Spencer, Chub Rock. And that's how, like, if people see pictures floating of me with Tupac and Eazy-E on the internet, those were the years that I was meeting all those celebrities. So I was still in school.
Wow.
So, of course, I didn't want to go to college after meeting these celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, meeting Eazy-E and Tupac was like the pinnacle of my career. I was like, okay, I'm pretty much there now.
Yeah.
And, of course, when I told you, like, not knowing what I wanted to do, which way I wanted to go, and the peer pressure of growing up, I got sucked into the street life. And this is something I said on the interview yesterday, and the lady was real surprised. She was like, I'm so glad that you're not ashamed of your past and we can talk about it. I would never be ashamed of my past because that's what made me who I am now.
Yeah.
I've learned from my past. I respect my past. I appreciate my past. And I try not to make those same past mistakes that I've made. I call myself a drug dealer, and I sold drugs as a job. Can you believe that?
Yeah. But, you know, let me ask you.
To my mom.
Before you go there, I can't believe that. The only reason I say that is because, and you tell me if this is also wrong. I mean, I read that you actually were selling cannabis with your father to make ends meet when you were a kid.
Oh, no. No. Wikipedia said that?
Wikipedia said that. You better get that thing corrected. Because they got you born in Atlanta and they have you and your dad selling cannabis when you were younger.
Selling cannabis.
Yes.
No. I didn't start selling, and matter of fact, I did not sell cannabis at all.
Oh my God.
Like,
that is.
I went to the harder stuff. And
you're like, forget cannabis.
Yeah, cannabis wasn't making no money at that time.
Well,
so,
wait, go ahead.
I went to cannabis. After I called myself rehabilitating myself, and I'm not going to mess with nothing hard anymore. So I went to the lighter stuff on the streets, which was cannabis. But my father had nothing to do with that. My father was a hardworking man that provided for us. Him and my mom stayed together until we graduated and they divorced. But he's never sold a Bufferin or Anderson as I can remember. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He's never did street things. I was the one that dwelled out there because I had friends that was, I'm getting out of high school. I see friends of mine that got, back then to have to make $2,000 a week was like big money.
Yeah.
Or $2,000 a day was big money. And so me trying to do my music thing, believe in my music and pay for it, finance it myself, I took a job on as being out there in the streets and selling cocaine. That's what I sold.
Okay. And how old were you when this was going on?
Lilian, probably 20, maybe 21, 22, fresh out of high school. Breath still smelling like Similac, wet behind the ears, not knowing nothing about life, just wanting to be in life.
But you left, you said you did graduate high school or you left before?
I did graduate. Let that be known. I did graduate.
Okay, because I think that's another thing Wikipedia said that you left. Dude, you got to rewrite your
y'all
Wikipedia.
Stop that. No. I was a dropout.
Yeah, they said that you had
killing me.
scholarships. That you had scholarships and you were offered, but you dropped out of school at the age of 16. That is quote.
Damn, 16?
Yes. Yes.
Who's writing this stuff? I need to talk to Mr. Wikipedia.
You know it. You better. This is awful. I'm going to see if I can find you somebody to help you fix this.
Oh my goodness, no. I have to, I have to take a picture when you post and show y'all my high school diploma. I do have that. I got a diploma.
Okay.
I went all the way to the 12th grade, 18 years old. I got out and I got involved with the streets because I didn't know what I wanted to do as a young man. I gave up the sports life, the football, the track. I gave that up for the music career, the fame. I wanted to be this big rap star. I was so involved with music that I was willing to finance it myself by making street money. And I did it for a while, 2-3 years, but you got to think about me going back and forth to jail.
Really?
And at the same time, you got this. Oh, yes.
How many times?
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Maybe before I learned my lesson.
Yes.
I would say 4 or 5.
4 times. All right. So each time that you were in there, how long were you in jail?
That's the ticket, right? That's the thing right there. When you don't have to be in there a long time, it's almost like a slap on the hand to you, and you feel like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem with going to jail. Or it's I don't know why people look at it like you're so much cooler, or you get so much more cool points when you've been to jail. There's not no cool points in there because there's somebody telling you when to eat, sleep, and poop at all times. So it's I went back and forth. I'm talking about from gun charges to everything to just being that guy that didn't know what he was doing out there. You know what I'm saying? Didn't belong out there. That guy that lost his way. So that's a lot of reasons why I am today about being positive to people and to the youth and to people that's in high school that's coming out. I was that guy that got out of school. And I remember my coaches telling me, this may be your last time ever playing football. Think of what you want to do. Think of what you want to be the rest of your life. And that went in one of my ear out the other one because I had music on my mind. So when that time came, Lilian, I was lost. I remember asking God, what do I do? I don't want to play football. I had injuries. I want to do my music. What do I do? And I chose to go to the streets. That was my thought. And like I said, enough times going back and forth to jail, it started getting longer and longer because now I started building myself a rap sheet in the criminal system, which people need to learn about. You don't want to have all this stuff because it follows you the rest of your life. Really? So you got me going back and forth to jail until I got my big time when I got busted. And when I got busted, you're talking about doing 13 months now.
Okay.
So, yes. Now, that's a long time to be like, that really changed me. That's what really slowed me down. As a matter of fact, my high school football coach was the one who came and helped me get out of my trouble.
Oh, did he?
And yes, he was very, very, very involved with our lives. My football team, he was very involved with our lives as a coach should be. He treated us like we were his kids, disciplining us, telling us right from wrong, not sugarcoating it. And I think he had awareness because he had a lot of cop friends that knew what I was doing. But I was already out of high school. I would see him here and there. He knew what I was doing, but he never would say anything. But when I was downtown behind those bars, my football coach came down there, bailed me out, and he talked to me, him and the officer that busted me and 4 or 5 more police officers. And that was the talk that I needed to have.
Wow.
And they pretty much told me I need to get my life together, that I wasn't going to make it on the streets. My name was all over the streets as far as what I do, what I have, what I can get. And I didn't want to have that life that drugs was out there for a reason. It's not for me to sell. It's for me to get caught with. I mean, I had a long talk with them, Lillian, that pretty much woke my ass up.
Wow.
And when I woke up, I got promoted to a halfway house. Okay. Now, check this out. This is the good part. I'm in the halfway house, and my sister is sending me pictures of the shows that I've opened up for with the celebrities like Tupac and Easy and De La Soul, and she's sending me all these pictures with celebrities. Now, they're coming into the halfway house. So all the CEOs and the deputies are seeing these pictures because they have to go through your packages before you get them. Mm-hmm. And they're looking at me like, what are you doing in here, man? You're with all these celebrities and you're in jail for doing what? For selling drugs? Man, you shouldn't even be here. So made friends with the deputies. They ended up liking me. And of course, you know how I am. I'm entertaining for the inmate. I'm rapping. I'm telling jokes. So I'm pretty much like the entertainment in jail. And this is the funny part. How about I was in there so long that I didn't want to leave? And after a while, I'll get back to that later. Okay. So now me and these deputies, I won't forget his name, Deputy Carr and Deputy Williams. So once they saw my pictures with these celebrities, he was like, you know what? If we get you an investor, somebody to finance your music, could we work for you? Because we want to quit our jobs. So the plan was for them to find somebody that had money to invest in my music career. I would become this big rap star, and they would be my personal security, and they don't have to be CEOs no more at the prison, at jailhouse. Yes. So listen to this. They was letting me, when all the inmates would go to sleep, Lillian, I would go downstairs with the police officers and work out their weights. I'm talking about like 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. Nobody knew I was going downstairs lifting weights with the officers.
Wow.
So they introduced me to Jack Crockett after going through 2 or 3 people. And they told me about Jack Crockett, that him and his brothers brought wrestling to the South. They had Crockett Park, the Charlotte O's baseball team. And I still wasn't familiar with who Crockett was. I just knew that I knew about wrestling. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I think this guy, he likes you. He's been talking about you. He watches you dance, and he wanted to talk to you. So I ended up talking to Crockett because he would leave the jail at 6 in the morning and didn't come back to 8 at night just to sleep and go back to work. Uh-huh. So I would spend 30 minutes talking to him for like 2 weeks. After that, he told me, hey, I'm going to give you my phone number. When you get out, I want to help you. I want to give you a job. Now, the still immature me, I thought he wanted me to cut his grass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Or fix some fixtures around the house. Yeah. So when I got out, I gave him a call. He came and picked me up from my mom's house, took me out to eat to Bennigan's, and that's when he introduced professional wrestling to me. And he told me he feel like he never gave back before, and God wants him to give back to me. Huh. And I was like, what are you offering? He's like, well, I want to offer you a change of life. And immature me was like, well, if you can't invest in my music, then there's nothing else I want to do. How about I turned him down living for 2 years?
Well, and before you go on, hang on. Why did you, I mean, I understand you wanted music, but why did he present wrestling instead of music?
Because he had this great vision of, his words was, remember how you was rapping and dancing for those inmates and you would come from your locker? I could just see you rapping and dancing in the wrestling because nobody's doing that. And I didn't get it at that time, Lillian. Yeah. I did not see it because I was not that much into wrestling. I was involved with the music and the streets. Right. And I was like, I didn't see it. I was like, I don't know about wrestling, Mr. Crockett. I don't know about that. And I just didn't get it. So I turned him down, went back to jail maybe 2 or 3 more times.
Jesus.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, come on, yes. I'm talking about over stupid stuff like driving with the lights off and the police pull you over and you got alcohol, cannabis, and everything else in the car. And you go to jail, like little stuff like that. Or you got a gun in the car. It's not registered to you. I went back to jail a couple more times, and that's when I came out, and I said, you know what? I had a child, my first child then, and I said, God, I'm not going to sell a thing else. Every cannabis, just go to where I was selling cannabis now. I said, okay, you know what? All the cannabis I have, all the cocaine I have, I'm getting rid of. How about in front of my mom, I flushed down the toilet every bit of cocaine that I had left. I flushed it down the toilet. Yes. And I took my cannabis I had left and gave it to my dad and told him, I'm done with the game. I'm done with everything. And I called Jack Crockett, and he came and picked me up within an hour. And he took me out to eat again, right at Bennigan's. And he said, well, this won't cost you nothing but time and dedication. and I'm supposed to give back to you. It's just I have to wait on you to be ready to accept it. And I said, well, I was that willing vessel then. I said, I'm ready, Croc. Whatever you need me to do, whatever I need to do, I'm ready for change. And that's when I was introduced to learning about a wrestling ring, putting the wrestling ring together, learning ring awareness, going to these shows. I learned to be a manager first. Then Crockett said, you know what, I want you to get in the ring and wrestle. I said, wrestle? They're like, yeah, I want you to be a wrestler. So believe it or not, Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull, saw me at a show. Mm-hmm. And he saw me rapping and dancing and trying to wrestle. And he took it upon himself to say, you know what, I want to train you. And Manny trained me for free. Yes. And Lilian, it was just like, I changed my paths in life, I mean, for the better. And I feel like when I did that, God started having doors open up for me. I just had to believe in those doors, what was behind those. I had to believe. And everything I wanted, like not knowing a thing about the wrestling business, I had people from Chris Hamrick to the Raging Bull to Dave Jericho to everybody wanting to help me out, train me, show me this headlock, show me this arm drag, show me how to do this. And they suited me up. It suited me up. I think I did independence for maybe 3 years. I got down to NWA Wildside, and some guys was talking to me, and he was like, hey, man, why don't you think about going to WWF at the time? And I was like, WWF? I said, I like it here. You know, I'm not selling drugs. I'm not in the streets. I'm having fun. This is cool. And he's like, no, you should go to this bigger than this. So Crockett took me to 2 WCW shows. First time ever going to a wrestling show.
Wow.
And I was watching Ric Flair come down to the ring, and Lilian, I was like in awe. Because the only thing I'd ever been to was rap concerts, you know?
Right.
I saw Ric Flair come down the ring, and I saw the reaction of all the people. Now, Crockett is sitting right beside me, and he's like, just imagine that being you. And you're rapping and you're dancing all the way down to the ring. You can even get in the ring and rap. And I'm watching Flair, and I'm feeling this like electricity from all these people cheering and wooing. And I'm like, this is what I can do right here. This is it. Rick Michaels and his dad made me a tape from the NWA Wildside. I mailed it in, and Vince McMahon called me within like 2 weeks and flew me to Connecticut.
Wow.
Yes.
How was that meeting?
It was surreal. It was surreal because I was still very green as far as knowing the business, knowing about everything, and being my first, and then meeting Vince McMahon to where he's just like, so I saw your tape, rapper, you dance and rap? And I'm like, yes, sir, I do. And okay, we would like to sign to give you a contract. It still didn't dawn on me like, no, you got a contract, you finna get a real job. Mm-hmm. Now, mark this down. I've had one job in my life, my whole life, Lilian, and that was only because of work release to get out of jail, so I had to see orange anymore. I've never had a job in my life. WWF was my second job in my whole life. Wow.
Yeah. So immediately, what's going on through your mind?
At that time, it still wasn't registering to me. It only registered to me when I started getting those checks. And think about this. Back then, we still got the developmental camps now, but back then, I was getting checks for like probably 3 or 4 months before they even sent me anywhere. I was just at home getting checks to where I felt like, okay, anytime they're finna send the cops, they're finna take my ass back to jail. It was just all a setup because they give me all this money and I ain't done nothing yet. But, yes, I was scared. If you can remember, I asked Johnny Ace, I called and said, hey, I don't know if you guys know that y'all still paying me. I'm still getting money and I'm still at home. And he laughed and said, you're fine, kid. We're just getting things squared away to be able to send you out of town. I just so like, y'all know I'm cashing these checks, right? Like y'all sending me this money now. He's like, you're fine. But it was just, once I got to developmental, it was just a whole new world to me, Lilian. Yeah. Coming from the streets and doing everything, the typical thing that guys from the streets that don't have no type of outlook, no type of fall back on, or no type of dreams or goals. It was a different life for me.
Yeah.
And I took hold of it and just held on, and I'm still riding it.
How did you hold on to it in a way where you didn't try to sabotage it, though? I mean, did you feel like you were worthy of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always felt that I was worthy. I've always felt that God himself has chosen me for his purpose for higher callings. Whether it's to be an inspiration in somebody else's life, whether it's to change somebody else's life, or whether it's just to be that support or that light in somebody else's life. I feel like everything that I've been through, chasing my glory, chasing this higher calling that God has for me, it's been all works from him. And it is, I can feel it in my soul, Lillian, when I know, like, everything that's happening for me, all the good things, all the bad things, I know they're supposed to happen. And I accept them. I'm rolling with them, and I'm just waiting to reach that higher calling.
I love that. Now, I know, and I can honestly hear it in your voice and everything, and I've known you now for years, and that it is true. I mean, you are definitely a Christian where God is definitely important in your life. With that said, you knew you were doing some things wrong with all the drugs and everything. How did you continue, or why did you continue to do them? Even though you're such a godly man, you know it's the wrong thing to do, and you've been in jail so many times. What keeps you doing it?
Justification. You can justify any reason to do what you want to do, whether it's right or wrong. Self-justification opens the door for anything, and you have to be ready for the feedback from that as well, the outcome of that. I justify the reason. Yeah, I believe in God. I believe he's my higher power. He strengthens me. He helps me, but I also, you know what I'm saying, I got to go do this right here too. You can shut that part of your belief out. That's called that self-justification, because when you self-justify the reasons for doing wrong, you don't want to talk about, think about, or hear about anything else positive right now, because you got to handle that.
Yeah.
So I just justified my reason. You know what? Nobody else is going to give it to me. I have to make this money. I have to get my dancers these outfits. It's so easy. It's right here. I can run down a list of justifications of why I still did it.
Wow, that's strong. And that's so true.
Yes.
Yeah, you can justify pretty much everything.
Oh, just like with somebody, if somebody's on a diet and they want to have a cheat day, you can justify the reason. You know what? I've been doing good for the past 3 days. I can have a cheat day, I mean, we can justify anything at the right time when we want to.
Yeah. Now,
it doesn't make us any less of a person. It doesn't take any less of our faith or our belief away. It just shows that we haven't come to that maturity level yet, to where you don't have to justify that because you know it's wrong. If you have to question it or do it, you just won't do it.
Right. And did your mom see you and your dad every time? Did they know every time you were getting, thrown in jail?
That was one of the hurtful things ever, to see my mom see me in court, to see my mom see me behind bars. And I heard, I was in the room and I heard she telling one of her friends that was one of the most hurtful things she ever had, to see her son behind bars. Mm-hmm. And I did that. And it took me later in my years of growing up to be a mature man to wow, that really can hurt a parent, to see your child behind bars and you feel so hopeless because you can't do nothing to help them. They belong to those people now. You can't do nothing to help them or to save them. And that's a helpless feeling. I regret even putting my mom in that situation. And my dad was pretty much and my dad is stone cold hard. He's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You get yourself behind them damn bars, you're going to stay back there. I ain't coming to see you downtown. And he never did. He never will come see me downtown. And I get that. I get that.
Right. How'd that make you feel?
Back then, it was just one of the things that just happened. Well, if he don't come, he just don't come. Back then, it was just, like I said, water off a duck's butt. But now, as a mature man, I regret that. I feel bad about that. I feel bad about even putting my mom and my dad through that. Whether they knew I was selling or just heard that I was selling. Come on, I'm out of high school. I don't have no job. I have this IROC Z28 with 14 karat gold dipped rims on it. Nice paint job. I got all this money. Come on. I think they knew, but didn't want to say anything because I was already grown at that time. And my dad was pretty much, he would say something or hint around, but he's going to let you hit that brick wall yourself.
Right. Right. Which, do you feel like you learned a lot from all those experiences in jail?
Oh, I learned everything from those experiences. Yeah. And you know what? This is going to sound crazy. I'm glad I had a chance to experience that because I met so many different, I would call them souls in jail. That's so many lost people, so many people that don't have a clue. There are so many people in jail, Lillian, that they have no problem with going and coming to jail. There's people that went and came back to jail 3 or 4 times before I even got out. Like,
Wow.
and they're fine with it. I have a cousin that gets locked up every year around wintertime so he'll have a place to stay.
Oh, my God.
Yes, some people's mentality can only go so far to where, like, this is what they're comfortable with. They're content with this. And you meet so many different souls and characters in jail. And some people make mistakes. You see some people that should be where they're at. It's going to never change. They're just a negative person. There are good and bad people for real out there in this world. And you meet so many different ones in jail.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, my God. What was the scariest thing you ever experienced in there?
Shoot, the mystery meat, not knowing what the food was.
Really?
That was about it. Yeah, I never had no, listen, when I went to jail, it was like, I've had this protection of the universe and God around me for so long. Like, you got to think, when I went to jail, I was like one of the well-known drug dealers around town. I was a football star in Charlotte. I was one of the guys, like, people knew I hung with Tupac and Eazy-E and, like, was opening shows there. Like, so I kind of went in jail kind of like, that's Ronnie. That's Ronnie Good. He's one of the big guys around here. So it's like, and then when you go to jail, you meet people that you went to school with or that you play football against. Like, it's just it's a recycling thing. It's a recycling thing. Almost to where, like, if you went to college, you play against some of the guys you played against in high school, this and that. So you see a lot of life in jail. You get to learn a lot of life. You get to learn whether you're going to come back, whether you're going to, and you got a lot of jailhouse lawyers too that tell you this is what you need to do, this is what you shouldn't do. I had people in jail that talked to me and told me that I was better than what I was perceiving myself to be. I shouldn't be there. I had so many people telling me that I shouldn't be there and didn't know what I was doing in there. I had this one guy, Jamaican guy, and he was locked up for, like, I think he had like 50 years. And I remember he had like dreadlocks down to his butt, and he was a legit OG. I'm talking about a legit, because he's like had bodies on him, and he had his own cell with all the newspaper articles when they caught him. But that guy gave me like a 45-minute lesson talking. And some of the inmates came and got me and said, hey, Zoe want to talk to you. I'm like, Zoe, who's Zoe? He's like a OG over there. And when I talked to him, it was straight, young brother, you need to get yourself together because you're not supposed to be in here. You're not like these guys. Yes. And just having so much of that around me and doors opening for me and things being laid out, and it's the universe. And I just feel like just chasing glory is fun, but along the way, you have to take time to smell the roses. You have to take time to see the roses. You have to take time to absorb and catch and grasp life. If not, you'll miss everything.
Yeah. Wow, that's so powerful, man. That's so powerful. Thank goodness he was there. It's so wild. He's there for so many years, but that he actually took it upon himself to help you out. That was, that's powerful.
Yes. Think about it. He's there at the time that I come in. Like, it's almost like God had him sitting there waiting just to give me that speech.
Right.
Because, like, and that was, I don't know how many years ago, but I remember that speech. That was one of the speeches that stuck with me because coming from the streets, I respected that dude. I'm like, dude, like, literally when they came to get him, like, he had a whole motel on lockdown. I'm talking about like New Jack City, Nino Brown type guy.
Jeez.
And he was a big time drug dealer there. And for him to like speak some knowledge to me, like, hey, you need to rethink your life because you're heading down the wrong street. You want to end up where I'm at.
Wow.
I'm never getting out of here. And it's like me respecting and looking up to this guy because he's one of the street kings. I'm like, oh, word is born. This guy is word is born. This guy is like legit for real telling me to. And I remember that so well that, like, I'm telling you right now, it just won't ever leave me.
And that's crazy to think that he's still in there right now.
Still in there, if he's not dead now.
Oh, he is, or he's not?
I'm just saying.
If he's not, yes, if he's not.
If he's not, back then he was in his 30s. Back then he was an older cat.
Oh, I see.
I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
He's like maybe 35, 36, so he's well old now, but he was never getting out.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, you spoke about this earlier, and you said you were going to let me know about this. Why didn't you want to leave the halfway house?
I had got comfortable in there.
Yeah.
I got comfortable, Lilian, to where like when my time was getting down, I was actually getting scared.
Because now you're going to be on your own.
You're going to be on your own. I'm talking about over 6, 7, 10 months, you got somebody telling you when to eat, sleep, and poop. You're in the structured program. I was just used to going, leaving the jail. I had to work my way up to where I could leave and go work. That's when I had that one job at the warehouse.
Yeah.
I could leave and come back. I had to be back in jail by 6 o'clock. And so it was like, that was my home. I got accustomed to that. And when my time came up to leave, it was scary because I think now I'm talking to you about it, I had to face the world again.
Yeah.
I had to face the world again, and I couldn't go back to what I used to do. I had to change my surroundings. I had to change the people I hung with. I had to change the people that I talked to. I had to change the places that I would go. Everything about me had to change in order for me to change.
Yeah. Well, how do you think?
I remember going to my mom's house,
Yeah.
and she had to tell me that it was okay for me to go somewhere. Because I would go to her house and just like, I would stay in the house all day and all night. And she's like, you're not in jail no more. You can go to the store. You can go, get something to eat. You can leave the house.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, I can? Yes. You get that routine to where like, I didn't leave the house for weeks, Lilian.
Yeah. So do those things still haunt you in any ways now?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Only just to bring up and talk, to tell people about, to try to let people know I've walked on all different sides of the catwalk to where I've experienced a lot, to where I probably can tell you something about what you're going to experience or what you have experienced.
Yeah. Now, you said that earlier that this follows you. In what ways has this whole thing followed you?
As far as
well, you mentioned
my past.
You mentioned, don't be going to jail. Don't get yourself down the wrong road because it does follow you. In what ways has it followed you?
Okay, look at my professional career. There's like certain countries that you can't get in if you got a criminal background record.
That's right.
There are certain jobs in the state that you can't get because you got a criminal background record. That follows you the rest of your life when you start making these your criminal record. And I teach this to my kid. I tell my son this. I got a 17-year-old, and I tell him that don't get into the system. Once you get into the system, you're making yourself a track record, and it's not a good track record at all because you're going to be shunned for it. You're going to be closed doors are going to come constantly because of your track record. They're not going to see you as a good citizen. They're not going to see you as a contributing person. They're going to see you as a problem.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for me to get past that, because I remember when I was trying to get a job before wrestling, and once I got out, the first thing they would talk about, they would look at my criminal record.
Yep.
Oh,
First
you
question.
got trafficking charges and gun charges. Whoa, hope you don't come up here with that. Hope you're not going to bring that here. Like, it follows you the rest of your life. That's something you have to deal with the rest of your life. That's why I have no problem talking about it.
Yeah.
Because now the universe have made ways to where I've been in pretty much every country you can name of. And that's through me making the changes, through me thinking positive, through me staying at chasing my glory, adapting, and just keeping it moving.
So are there any countries that you have not been able to get into that you really wish you could have?
Japan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Japan's amazing. And with the wrestling, forget about it.
Yes, that's the only place I haven't been to.
Got it. And there's just no way to make that happen as of right now?
There's a way. There's always a way. There's always a way.
Yeah. Okay.
We're working on that now. There's always a way.
Very cool. Because that would be very, very good. Now, what about your kids? You've got 5 kids now?
Yes, ma'am. 5.
Holy baby maker you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Wave at me and get pregnant.
Oh, my God. Oh. I better not stand too close. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I should, because I never was able to get pregnant, so I should stand right next to you. My gosh.
Definitely fertile. Fertile. Yeah, my oldest is 25, then 24, 17, 11, and 4.
Wow, dude, how is it being a father? I mean, after everything you've been through, all the lessons you've learned, how is it being a father? And do you, Like when you share this with your kids, do you feel like they're listening?
That's a good question. I don't.
No.
I don't feel like they're listening to me. I get more listening and acceptance from outside of my family than I do, because my family don't see me as R-Truth. They see me as dad. And we all know how kids look at their parents. Trying to tell me something. No, you think you know everything, or this and that. But I can go to a school and speak to 300 or 400 kids, and they will believe and take everything I say. Mm-hmm. They take it in. They look at me as bigger than life. And I never tell them something that I haven't already told my kids already.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a great thing being a parent, but it's not easy. It's hard. It's an emotional thing, because you don't want your kid to go through anything that you had to go through. You want them to suffer at all. But sometimes, like my mom and dad had to do, you have to stand back, get beside yourself, and let them be themselves. Yeah. Let them make their mistakes. And that's a hard thing for a parent. I know that now. And that's why I told you I regret what I put my parents through, because now, as a mature adult, damn, I hurt my mom hard when she had to see me behind those bars. That really, and that'll always stick with me. It'll always stick with me.
Because if you saw your kids behind bars, man, I'm sure you would be going crazy.
I would cry. Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? That is the thing that unfortunately happens. We just don't listen to our parents enough. And that is one of the reasons, even with the show, like I really like to get into the growing up and what you went through and all the lessons you learned and what you've put your parents through. Hopefully, if there's some kids that are young enough listening to this that are still living at home, they can really hear it from us that mom and dad, man, they do have some precious things to teach you and to protect you with. And so please listen to them more and value them more than you are doing right now, because they've been through it. And I don't know why society places it like, oh, mom and dad, what do they know? But
yes, like they're new to life or something.
Like what now?
Like the parents are new to life. Like they haven't experienced nothing, you know?
Exactly.
Like it's all a first time thing.
Yeah.
No, but I would tell kids now, please, your parents won't tell you nothing to hurt you. Nothing at all.
Yeah, they want the best for you. Absolutely. And yeah, you're right. Some things you have to learn on your own. But man, if you had the major mistakes and stuff that you can not protect yourself from, oh, God, do it. Because I'm sure that if you had to
Why not?
Right. I mean, I'm sure that, yes, you've accepted your past. It's who you are. It's who you've become. But at the same time, at that crossroads, when you were going to sell your first drug, would you go back and be like, nope, that is not the path I want to go down?
Me now? Oh, no. Heck no. You know what? Okay, now, so you put me in a compromising situation, because if I wouldn't have sold those drugs, I wouldn't know what I know now. I wouldn't be where I'm at now, you know? So it's almost like, Lilian, I'm glad I'm not happy about what I had to go through, but I'm glad I had a chance to experience it so I can make a better decision for myself. I can have a different outcome, and I can have a different perspective on life.
I understand what you're saying. Absolutely. And I think it's important to embrace where you're coming from and the decisions that you've made and learn the lessons and the silver linings from everything. But I also think, for example, you're telling your son, don't do this, because trust me, I've been there and this is not the way to go, right? Because you don't want him to go through all those hardships. So even though you learn and you can take the silver linings from every situation and then pass it down to the other person to go, oh man, I've been through this, and you do not want to be like an alcoholic or a drug addict or selling drugs or whatever. Trust me, it is not the easy life.
Yes, exactly. And that's another reason why, like, my music, like all my music that I've done, that I do now. Yeah. I never glorify or talk about selling drugs. I never talk about being in a trap house or this is the way you live, or I never glorify street life. All my music has always been about positive, having ambition, having goals, having dreams, and believing in yourself. I don't even rap about going to strip clubs or women or none of that. It's all positive and upbringing and happy music when I do music.
I love that. Tell me, did you just release something, right?
Yes, I did. I was supposed to do an interview with WWE about it. I just released my first single called That's Endurance, spelled THATZ, Endurance. And that came about when my last surgery, shoulder injury. I had to have 2 surgeries. And upon making my comeback, I wanted to come back totally different. And, I'm 46 years old. So coming back at my age to where I'm working with these millennial guys and it's such a fast competitive pace, I had to come back with some hard endurance. And that song came upon me, and my producer gave me the music, and it just flowed, and it went well with the situation, went well with me with my comeback. And I just dropped the video a week ago, and I've actually had like 100,000 streams already now.
Nice. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Please do.
Yeah, I've always been such a fan of you and your music and all. And I love the fact that you did get to do exactly what Jackie was envisioning. You coming down, dancing, rapping to the ring, all of that you got to do with your song. How did that feel for you the first time you ever got to do it? And you've done it a million times since. How does that feel for you?
Oh my goodness. Lily, it's surreal to know the whole story and to know Crockett sat beside me and pretty much gave me a blueprint to what I would be doing. It's very surreal. And there's not a time that I don't think about him, And I haven't seen him since. How about that?
Really?
No.
Wow. Why?
I haven't seen him since. I think he moved.
Okay.
He moved from Charlotte and we just...
Lost touch.
I guess just lost touch.
Yeah. And he's never even contacted you since?
No, ma'am.
Wow.
I've actually tried to get in touch with him. How about I was in therapy with his brother?
Really?
I was in physical therapy with his brother. And his brother knew me because of Crockett talking about me so much.
Wow, and you couldn't get the information from his brother?
You know what? You're talking to R-Truth. I didn't even damn think about it. hey. Me and him we made friends, and we was, we having our shoulders together, and it's like, I was telling him about his brother, just the whole story I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I was telling Dave, and we became friends, and not once did I say, hey, where's your brother? You got a number on your brother? Now I'm thinking about that. Why didn't I ask for his number?
Oh my God. It's almost like you need an assistant with you, Truth. At all times.
That's what my manager said. He said, you need a mind assistant in your back pocket.
There you go. Well, I hope that he listens and hears at least some of your interviews where you're giving him credit and all, because I think it's a beautiful story that he definitely helped.
Yeah.
And he could feel that his calling to help you out, it was successful. And you've been in the WWE for so many years, and then you were also in TNA. As a matter of fact, I love the fact that you were the first African-American to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that still to this day, you've only been the only African-American to win that title. How does that feel?
That's, it goes back to what we all talked about. This guy that came from a dream, having an inspiration, having a goal, or chasing glory, that met this guy that believed in him. Crockett believed in me. Something told him to give back to me because I would make good of it. And I was at the point in my life where I was ready to accept and make good of something. And just to the first time I was told I was going to get that title, it was just, I didn't realize how important and how special and how just amazing it would be. And when I got it, to hear the feedback from it and to feel it was another surreal moment, because it's like, I didn't see it coming, but I know it would come.
Wow.
I've always known God had me pretty much protected and on this mission, and I knew great things was coming, but to be the first African-American to hold that title was like, I felt like I had reached the pinnacle of my career there. Like I felt like, and then God just still keeps giving me more. Yeah. So it's like, I'm just trying to be as positive inspiration as I can to any and everybody, to where if you respect, appreciate, and see where I came from to where I'm at now, it's because I believed, somebody else believed, and I chased.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Working with Carmela, how's that been for you now?
Oh, I love Carmela.
She's great.
I love it. It wasn't her idea. It wasn't my idea. They just put us together and it just, boom, worked out and just blew up overnight.
Yeah. Because you were having a little bit of a rough patch. Like, I know that you've had such an incredible career, but you're one that's kind of gone through the high highs and then the low lows as far as getting opportunity and being consistently, on the card. There's sometimes that you were just backstage and just waiting and waiting and waiting. How do you feel about that as far as, because right before this whole Carmella thing, I saw you backstage and you'd be like, I'm just waiting for something.
Just waiting. And that's the business. You waiting for that bone to get thrown where either you're going to eat it up or you're going to gnaw on it. You know what I'm saying? When opportunity knocks, you have to be ready. And my career, my character was still at a stack point to where the writer didn't know what to do with it or what to do with me or where to put me at or my character is such an entertaining character. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different element and part of the show. So once they put me and Carmela together, it was just like okay, now I got something to do. Not only do I have something to do, it's double the entertainment because she was a bad guy at first. She was a heel. And just by me and her going out together, her hanging with me just turned her and people took to it.
Right.
And in a society of today, for them to take to me and her like that was like, we're pretty much like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of the wrestling.
Yeah. I love that. I love that analogy. No, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You guys are so fun together, and that's what I love. And there is a definite chemistry because you love to dance. She loves to dance. She likes to have fun. So I definitely love the camaraderie between the two of you.
And she's very, very, very talented. She's very smart. A lot of ideas we have, she'll come up with herself. She'll come up with and say, "Hey, Truth, how you like this right here?" I'm like, "You came up with that? Oh my goodness, that's good." I'll add something to it, and we gel very good together.
Oh,
especially
awesome.
Being creative.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's easy. Sometimes you can have a partner or be matched with someone, and it's it could be a pretty much of a little like, oh well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. It could be a little hiccup, but with me and her, it's like so easy and fun. Always fun.
And isn't that so great to go work and have fun?
That's the name of the game.
That is blessing.
Enjoy what you're doing.
So let me ask you this, because you and I have a very similar, I wouldn't say past, but a very similar thing together. And that is my
you
whole
did time
goal.
too?
What's that? Oh, no, I did not do time.
How much time you did in the joint?
Oh my God. I wouldn't have lasted one day. Oh my God. Too much for me. But I love music. You know that my whole goal was to get music. And then I get the whole presentation as far as my agent saying, "Hey, I really think that you should audition for this." And my reaction's kind of like your reaction. I was like, what? No, I want to do music. Like, that's my goal. And I did it anyway. I tried out and then I showed up. And then I found a way to incorporate my music and singing into wrestling, which is so cool that I was looking at our paths. I was like, wow, our paths are so similar with that, right? That we found a way to include music. I was doing the national anthem. You're singing to the ring. I was doing entrance theme song for Tori Wilson or, performing at different parts of the world, singing different anthems and all. Has it for you filled because it didn't look the way you thought it was going to look. You're not Jay-Z. You're not, Tupac or whatever, the things that you were striving for. So has it fulfilled the music side of you enough to incorporate the two?
You know what, that's a damn good question. I would have to say it has. It has in a very unusual way for the fact that we have our own lane. I say we because you and I both, we got that one agenda we're trying to get to, but we had to take a whole different route. Yeah. We didn't go the same route that you didn't go the same route all the singers went, the same portal. You have to do this, you have to do that. we went a whole different avenue. We came into a whole different world and launched ourselves off. Now we have our own lane. You know what I'm saying? We have an audience already made for us to play our music, to sing our music, to perform our music. And it will reach out to that world, to that music void that we want that's outside. But right now, I'm like very happy with it. And I think my goal now is to turn R-Truth fans into Ron Killings fans. I got to turn wrestling fans into music fans and music fans into wrestling fans. It's always chasing glory for me. It's always trying to connect those pieces or put every dot over those I's and cross every T. So it's like the journey is not done with me yet. It's not over yet. We just have this mass audience of this universe of wrestling fans that's appreciating what we do and what we love and what we're made of. But we're still not done yet.
Yeah. Dude, drop the mic on that one. That was awesome. You inspired me, man.
Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
It's beautiful.
Listen, we have our own lane. Think about it.
Yes.
Like, we don't have to compete with nobody. You have to compete with no other singer out there because you have a universe. Like, you have your own lane right now. You can go branch out anywhere you want to, and then it'll tumble over and spill over into the music world.
Wow. I love this, Truth. I love this. I needed to even hear that. Because sometimes we get stuck in our minds that everything has to look a certain way, that it has to look the way we envisioned. And so if it doesn't look that way, a lot of times we won't even take the opportunity. You almost missed your opportunity because you waited for 2 years. So for 2 years, you were like, nope. But then you woke up and you said, I'm going to try this. It might be a completely different path. I'm going to try it. Same thing with thank God I listened to that agent who said, go to the audition, you never know. And so I really want to encourage people out there, when you have a dream, don't think it has to look a certain way. And when opportunity comes, seize it, because you never know. And then you can always incorporate what you absolutely love within that opportunity.
Yes, always. Nothing never comes to you exactly the way you want it. You have to shape, form, adapt, and make it. You have to create it.
Yeah. So I always ask this question at the end of my podcast, and I have a feeling I already know what the answer is going to be, but I always ask, has your chase for glory looked like you thought it was going to look?
Has it looked? It's beautiful now, but it's going to be beautifuler in a little bit.
Oh, I like that. Oh, yeah. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what I love about that is the fact that you just, you say you're 46, and so many people put some, I don't know, man, they put some bad juju on age, and they think, oh, that means that's it. That's, I'm old and all this stuff. And I'm going, wait, I always say, if you died tomorrow, or even if you died today, they would say how young, right? So if you'd be so, they would say how young. Yeah. First thing that happened to Roddy Piper when he passed away, I think it was 65. People, the first thing out of their mouths is, oh my God, how young. But yet he didn't want people to know his age because he didn't want people to feel like he was old and not like him anymore.
Was old. Yes. And you know what? In certain aspects of business and entertainment, they will say, and I think it's just a negative bug for you to catch, almost like a cold or a flu. Yeah. It's a negative bug you can catch. Yes. And it will affect you if you let it. I remember asking E40, and he's my age. He's older than me. And I was like, you think I'm too old to be doing music, man, doing rap? And he was like, dude, ain't no such thing as age in music. He said, I know people, I know cats are still going, man, in their 50s and 60s. He said, there's no such thing as age when it comes to entertainment or when you have fans. And like I told you, we already have a built-in audience. We already have our own lane. There's no age in our thing.
You're right.
We only get better.
I love it. Truth, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You really are so inspiring and just somebody that I cheer for all the time, because just the way you've always treated me with so much respect and just dignity and such a positive light. You're such a positive light. So thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come on, share my story and share my my music.
Yes.
And it's available on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Play, Google Play, any digital retailer, my music is available.
Awesome. And how do we find you on social media?
My Twitter is at Ron Killings. My Instagram is Ron Killings1. And of course, Ron Killings on Facebook.
Great. And then for your music, for your music video, how do we find that?
You go to Ron Killings TV on YouTube.
Perfect. Well, best of luck with your music. Continued success with WWE and wrestling career and everything you really do in life. And we're just having so much fun getting to see you out there and do your thing. And we love you. We love you, Truth.
Oh, thank you, Lilian. I love every one of y'all too. All of you.
All right. Take care. Thanks again.
All right, you too. Thank you, Lilian.
Bye.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Wow, I am inspired after that one. Gosh, I love speaking to R-Truth. He is such a light. Can you hear it? Like, he's so funny, but he's got such a heart of gold. And I'm just so happy that he found his way out of trouble. I'm also happy that he's talking about it, because I think it shows for sure that people can have a past, but it's not your past that defines you. It is what you do after that. It's the decisions that you make that propel you forward. And he's doing great things now. He is, God, I mean, I've worked with him for so many years, and I just all the time, what a great attitude and just what a great spirit. So Truth, I'm pulling for you. I thank you for the encouraging words. Actually, I told you guys that I recorded this, a few weeks ago when I saw him, when I was backstage, and I got so inspired with what he said with music. I've been really missing out on music. Like, I've been kind of sad the fact that music is not in my life as much as I wanted it to be. But right after R-Truth, the interview, I reached out to a brand new producer and that I got connected with. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go in the studio and let's just play around. And we went in there with the idea just to I don't know, just try to get a new sound. It wasn't necessarily going to actually write a song yet or anything like that, just tinkering around. Well, we ended up writing 2 songs. I still have to write lyrics and all, but we've got 2 songs that we're working on. And I have to say, it felt so good. I got done with that session. I mean, the hours flew by. And I got done with that session and I was like, man, this is therapeutic. I need this in my life. So if any of you are out there needing to do what it is your passion is, and of course, chasing glory is part of my passion. There's different passions that I have. Music has just always been in me from when I was 5 years old. But I needed that. Like, I love doing the show. And then I also needed to have music. So I don't know where these songs are going to go. I have no idea. I'm in the process now of working on them, writing lyrics and finishing them up. But I have to say, they might not go anywhere. I'll put it out there. But more than anything, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's kind of like what Truth said. We have our lane, and I'll put it out there, and hopefully you guys will dig it and love it and share it, and of course, download it. But I can't control that. The only thing I can control is just to be in the studio, enjoying what I'm doing, and then putting it out to the world. So I encourage you guys, if you are having a passion, just do it. Just do it. Take some time out. Even if it becomes just a hobby, it is so therapeutic, so therapeutic. So that is my 2 cents today. Please spread the word about the episode. Again, sorry about all the static. I had no idea it was happening when he and I were recording this. So sorry about that, but I'm glad that you guys saw past it. And you can see that things aren't always going to be perfect. And that happens in our lives, but it's okay. You just got to keep moving forward. The message was still there. All right. So Merry Christmas to all of you. Have a great week. Get ready. New Year's is coming. Plan out what it is that you're going to do in your New Year's. And I'm going to challenge you guys. A lot of people wait till January 1st to start New Year's resolutions. Start it this week. Whatever it is, your New Year's resolution, start it this week. If you start it this week, you will see how serious you really are. Because, it's just like, for example, a diet. People always say, oh, tomorrow I'll do it. If they just started it right then and there, they would see how serious they are and how ready and prepared they are. And if for some reason you're not able to start it this week, if you try and it doesn't happen, then you've got to load yourself up with more support for the following week. You hear what I'm saying? And that is if you've got to Google something, if you're looking for ways to conquer something or quit something, whatever, Google it. How to stop smoking, for example. If you can't do it this week, you try it, do it this week, trust me, it's going to be the same thing the next week. So then go online and go, okay, what do I need to set myself up to support this so that I can get this done? All right, so whatever it is, to become better in 2019, start it this week. Give yourself a gift at Christmas. I love you all dearly. I thoroughly, thoroughly do. Thank you for following the show. Thank you for listening. And thank you again for spreading the word and the 5-star reviews. And keep those reviews coming for 5-star Saturdays. All right. Until next time, remember, best of show coming on the 31st on New Year's Eve, the best of 2018. For now, much peace, love, and passion to all of you. And remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.